Have you ever felt the rise of impatience while you wait for your desires to be fulfilled, while you secretly hold tight and attach yourself to the expectation that what you want should be arriving, air quotes, should be arriving faster than it is? If you've ever asked this question, ever felt that impatience in waiting for your desires to manifest in the world of matter, then you are definitely not alone. Let's dive into this episode. Welcome to the High Performance Consciousness Podcast. My name is Matthew Paddy, and together we are going to dive right in to breaking free from time. So this is one of the common questions I do get asked. It's often a frustration that is unspoken in many people. And if we think of the unknown and the unspoken, which is the deeper level of awareness or sub-awareness, we can say, well, maybe I am feeling frustrated. Maybe I am feeling impatient. Maybe I am filled with self-doubt or fear, or maybe feeling that I'm not worthy of my desires being fulfilled. Maybe I feel like I need to do more in order to achieve more. Maybe I need to give more of myself away through pleasing others or surrendering to the will of others in order to get what I want. These are all common narratives that play subconsciously and unconsciously within ourselves, especially in business, especially in careers, in relationships, and everything to do with money. So let's talk in this episode about how to take your focus off time and how to become the field, the quantum field. So if you've listened to my previous episodes, you will hear me constantly refer to time as being irrelevant. Time is irrelevant. Let me make it even more clear. Time equals now. Time equals now. What do you mean by that, Matt? Really, time equals now. So you may have heard, read, even potentially experienced the presence and the abundance and the beauty and the peace of now in meditation, or when you are in a state of flow, whether it was doing something you enjoyed, hanging out with people that you love and having a good time, and time became irrelevant to you. Before you knew it, 2, 3, 4 hours had passed, whatever it may have been. So when we are thinking about our desires, when we're thinking about our business results, when we're thinking about our finances, whatever it is you want to experience in the world of matter, you must leave time to the third dimension. You must leave time to the third dimension. And I'll come back and address what I mean by that in a moment. So let's take your focus off time, because it took you time to realize what you wanted. It took you time to make the decision to lean in and explore and pursue the fulfillment of what you want. It took time for you to grow to the age that you are. It took time for you to develop the skills that you have acquired and are using in your daily life. Time. So time is important in the third dimension, in as far as the construct of the third dimension being made of physical matter. Obviously, wave potential collapsing into particle. So time feels slow in the world of matter, the third dimension. It feels very linear. I need to go through time in order to experience something. I look at the clock, I look at my watch, I look at my phone, whatever it is, and I run my life by time. So I have not worn a watch. I used to collect great watches about 10, 15 years ago. But I have not worn a watch for at least 10 to 12 years. There was a moment where I thought and felt quite strongly that time is irrelevant, and that me wearing a watch and being bound by time equates to me being bound by matter, and therefore limits my imagination and limits that which I perceive as being possible for me to experience. So I got rid of all my timepieces. And sure, I show up to clients on time. I know what my calendar is. I know where I need to be at certain periods of time, but I'm not bound by time. I move through time. And so when we think of your what you want to manifest, what desires you want fulfilled in your world, You must escape the time trap. The time trap essentially is keeping you in the finite universe. It's keeping you in a very linear reality. That for me to experience my desires fulfilled, I must wait. I must think about a future date and go, okay, I'll have that new house within a year. I'll have that new partner within 2 months. I'll have that new job within 6 weeks, whatever it may be. I'll have that new bank account within 3 months. I'll have that new client, or launch that masterclass, or whatever it's going to be in 6 weeks. It's all time-based, and we use it to our advantage from the greater perspective. So the larger self looks upon time as a vehicle, as one of the instruments, one of the cogs in the wheel. So for you to break free of time, you must engage your imagination, and you must live out the experience that you desire. You must live it out fulfilled in this now moment. So time equals now. How I feel about myself and my reality is what I am experiencing right now. So if I can string now moments together, and I can feel what it feels like to experience the fulfillment of my desires now, and in the next now, and in the next now, then I am shortcutting the process. I am escaping the time trap and the time matrix that my body is addicted to. And I am using the chemistry of my emotions, the emotions of how I feel, how I choose to feel in my preferred reality. I want to feel joy. I want to feel bliss. I want to feel peace. I want to feel abundance. I want to feel expandedness. I want to feel excitement, awe, whatever it may be. Feel that now. Feel that now. And by feeling that now, you are essentially speaking to the field as the field. You're speaking to the quantum field in a language that it, if I was to refer to it as it, understands. Because the field is timeless. The field is eternal, just as your larger self is eternal and timeless. So why would you try to continue constructing scenes and results in your life, in your business, in your cash flow, in your clients, in your family, in your health, in your love life, whatever it may be, from the third dimension? Stop doing that. It's futile. It's slow. It burns a lot of energy. It burns a lot of mental energy. You bounce between when and as if. When is it going to arrive? As if it's going to arrive. When is it going to appear so that I can prove to myself and others that I'm worthy and powerful? Questions. So, become the field. Become the field, which means that when I feel what I want, what I desire, when I feel it having already been fulfilled, how would I feel if it were true? I would feel great. So now bring into your mind, into your heart, into your senses, a scene that feels great. And you can borrow that from other aspects of your life. So for me, I think about my children. I think about their giggles or their laughs or the funny things that they do or the facial expressions that they pull when I do something silly and we laugh together. And that immediately brings a smile to my face and immediately lifts the joy in my heart and in my body. And now when I feel that, and I hold that feeling, I think, wow, she's so cute, so adorable, or he's just, whatever. And I can feel that loveliness. I can feel that wholesomeness, that fullness. When I hold that feeling, now I introduce my desire. And I go, wow, okay, I can feel exactly the same way. And I choose to feel the same way about this desire. So now I feel whole. Now I feel excited. Now I feel dreamy or in love with it, fulfilled, whatever it may be. So that borrowing technique is very, very simple. Because you may have heard people, maybe it's even yourself, a little closer to home, that have said, I find it difficult to feel. I find it difficult to feel my desires fulfilled. I find it difficult to imagine feeling how I would feel when this, which is what I want, occurs or happens. Have you ever thought that to yourself or recognized that? So that's your body, the chemistry of your body, which has been coded through your emotions, coded to believe what is possible for you to feel. So maybe you've experienced some very difficult events in your past. Maybe it's upbringing, maybe it's in business, maybe it's in love or in finances or health, whatever it may be. And so that contracted you. So there's fear now. Maybe there's a little bit of suffering. Maybe there's pain. Maybe there's anger or resentment. Maybe there's a little bit of depression, whatever it may be. And so you've now occupied a very finite space. And you've said to yourself, unconsciously, this is who I am. I live and experience a contracted reality because I have no proof in the past to rely upon that things are going to get better, that things are going to improve, that what I want, what I truly, truly want is possible for me. Does that make sense? So now when I think about how I feel towards my desires, it almost makes me worse because I think, I feel good for a moment. And then I don't, because then my logical brain kicks in and my body's addiction to the past kicks in and says, hey, Josie, that's not possible. Hey, John, last time you did that, it didn't work out so well. You know what I mean? So we tend to lean out of our desires and we're almost afraid to feel the joy, feel the happiness, feel the smile, feel the excitement, feel the awe or the inspiration or peace or presence. We're afraid to feel it because all of a sudden the smaller self, the finite self says, hang on a minute, if you feel this, if you really allow yourself to feel it, it could be taken away from you at any moment. So you know what? Do yourself a favor and don't sit in this new feeling because you're going to get hurt again. You're going to be let down again. You're going to la 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 la. Does that make sense? So this is a deeper aspect of why some people are afraid to feel their desires and to really lean into experiencing their desires fulfilled, because deep down they are afraid to feel good about themselves and they are afraid to feel good about the world around them and the universe at large. So it comes down to a core theme of trust. Do I trust others and myself? But do I trust the universe? Do I trust the world? Do I trust the world of the third dimension enough to give myself to a new imagined state? If that's your question and that's your perspective and that's been your point of view up until this moment, put the brakes on, put a full stop right there, a period, stop right there in your thinking. That whole dynamic, that whole paradigm is built from the third dimensional self, as the dog barks in the background. Not sure if you can hear that. Just letting us know that, yep, we're on the right track. Keep going. So that's the smaller self. The smaller self actually says, I need to work really hard. I need to do all of this on my own. I need to protect myself. I need to play safely. I need to stay within the guidelines. I need to color within the lines, because if I don't, there are going to be consequences that are not going to bear good fruit. I'm not going to be happy with the consequences. So I stay in the lines. So now the question is, when you put that period stop there in your thinking, ask yourself this: is this the smaller self speaking or the larger infinite self? The larger infinite self is fifth dimensional. It is the quantum field. It is greater than matter. It's greater than the physical. It's greater than the limited perspective that we have of ourselves and our world. It is imagination. And if you can stretch your imagination and stretch your feeling into newness, into new experiences in your mind and in your heart, and you can lend yourself to feeling something new, something better, and you can string these events together from now moment to now moment, like stringing pearls together, then without doubt, unequivocally, you will experience new realities. You will experience new events and circumstances that support your new feeling. So if you haven't listened to the previous episode, episode 70, where I spoke about feeling is reality, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to that. Because the whole notion of building your reality is from inside out. The work is done inside. We've been taught that everything happens outside, that everything outside is real. It is evidence of our potential. No, everything outside of you is pushed out of you as evidence of who you believe you have been. Let me say that again. Everything outside of you was pushed out from you as a concept, as a belief, as to who you believe you have already been. Because the outside world is a reflection of all the previous events, circumstances, thoughts, feelings, and actions that have taken place in the past, previously, as history, and are now coalescing, finding themselves in the world of matter as results observed outside of you. So, it's an inner game. It has always been an inner game. The key to escaping time is creating the time equals now, is obeying that law. That is one of the laws that I give my Magnetic Mastermind members. There are 13 in all, the laws of success. This is one of them. Time equals now. Time equals now. And so the time equals now is the fifth dimension, is the greater self. That what I impress upon my subconscious mind through clear, decisive thinking and feeling is then presented to the field, the quantum field, the infinite field of intelligence, as in new information that can be utilized to bring that which you want to you in the world of matter. So, time is irrelevant to your desires. The greater self understands that for you to feel what you want fulfilled now and in the next now is the process of creation. Now is the only moment that exists in your creations. Because if you had a wobbly moment or a wobbly day or a wobbly week, and you may be feeling a bit off, a bit resentful, a bit angry, or a bit flat, a bit broken, a bit disheartened, a bit discouraged, whatever it may be, and you're starting to see evidence of that outside of you, you'll start to think, okay, right, the past is catching up and coalescing and moving into form in my outer world. I'm catching that. So now in this moment, I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing outside of me. These are not my preferred experiences. So in this moment, period, stop. Period, stop. Go into now. How do I choose to feel? What is my preferred reality? What does my preferred reality, my preferred outcome, my desires feel like now? And go back to episode 70 where I speak about spiritual sensation and about using your sixth sensory system to perceive and engage and experience your preferred reality states. So the outside world will fold around you and your concept of self. If you can get this, if you can truly, truly lean into this and use it as a little bit of an invitation to experiment, I'm going to watch what happens outside of me when I change my concept of self, when I change my inner language or inner conversations or my thinking, my actions in the world. I'm going to change the concept of self, and I'm going to observe what changes occur outside of me. And if I have changed myself and I've changed my thoughts and I've changed how I feel, even from moment to moment to moment, and I am not seeing evidence of it outside of me, you haven't done anything wrong. You are just looking for the expectation that what has always been will continue, and you need to upgrade your level of belief that how you conceive and what you can conceive of is and does create your reality outside of you. So the encouragement is to play that experiment. For you to make that conscious change inside, you will observe conscious change outside. If you fail to make the conscious change inside and you think, I'll just give it a go, I don't really believe it, Matt just suggested it and I'll see what happens, but I don't really believe it. I'm so pragmatic, I'm so linear, I'm so whatever it is, and you don't go looking for change outside of you, you'll never find it. You will never find it because you always find what you seek. Whatever you observe in your inner conversations is what you invariably will observe and experience outside of you. So lean in, change those conversations, period, stop, on the past, be here now, transcend time. The quantum field operates in a timeless, eternal manner, and it exists and speaks through this now moment. Feel into now. Perfect. All right, so from me here to wherever you are in the cosmos, dream a better dream. See you in the field.